Hello, it's me, and I've got another puzzle here to demonstrate / solve to see if I can. This is a hybrid puzzle. It's a 2x2 curvy copter plus, and as the name implies, it's a curvy copter plus with all the movements that you would expect, including all the jumbling type moves. It's a plus because they've separated the centers out, and it's also a 2x2, a very functional, very easily moved 2x2. So what I enjoy about hybrids like this is it takes the best of both worlds. And this is a true hybrid where you can actually do both moves at the same time. So it's actually been a while since I've done a curvy copter plus solve, and I haven't really tried it before starting this video. I just brought it along with me, so I figured I'd give it a go. So I'm going to show the scramble of this because you can pick this puzzle up yourself. I'll tell you that right off the bat, the movement is incredible. The 3D printing is SLS 3D printing, it's laser printed, and it's very, very smooth. And I can tell that the pieces themselves feel like they've been washed or buffed or something because there's no powder, there's no stickiness really. So the first kind of scramble that I'll do is I'll just start to do curvy copter turns here. Turn, turn, just to kind of test it out. And this is what I would call a non-jumbling turn here, non-jumbling scramble. And again, it's been a while since I've done a curvy copter plus solve, so let's see how this goes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take things out of orbits. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'll do basically a single jumble maneuver which will exchange these two and exchange their orbits. I'll bring this up, and I'll bring this down, and I'll turn this like so, and bring it down like that. So now I have taken that out of its orbit. I'm going to go ahead and exchange these two orbits as well. And I do this just to maximize the challenge of this. Now, there's something about the curvy copter plus, and there's a reason why I stopped solving it, because there's some clunkiness to the movement, that it was actually doing more than jumbling, it was fudging. So I'll show you what I mean with that. And I'm going to see if this actually moves better than the mass-produced curvy copter plus. Okay, so maybe a couple more single jumbled maneuvers here to take things out of orbits. Oh, a little bit of a snagging here, but nothing too bad. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is, why don't I go ahead and do 2x2 scrambles. And all that seems to do is it takes these edges here and separates them. It splits these edges. So that's going to be part of the solve process. So I'm going to just go ahead and scramble this here. It's really, really very smooth. As a matter of fact, if you just want a good 2x2, this is good like that. Now after doing that, I'll just take some curvy moves over here, some copter moves rather. All right, maybe another orbital exchange here between these two. Okay, so that's that kind of scramble. The next thing that I'm going to do, which is unique to the curvy copter plus, is I'm going to do what I call mix-up moves. Now what a mix-up move is, it takes one piece, like a corner, and it puts it in a stable position in another place, in this case the centers. So that's the thing about this, is you can split these centers, but actually even before I do that, I'm going to split these inner centers with the outer centers over here. So I'm going to split those. The way that I would do that is, if memory serves, I would exchange these two. And the way that would happen is I would come across like this and bring this all the way around so that I'm in this position, this jumbled position. Then I'm going to take this, swing this around here, and swing it around over here, and then just orchestrate an exchange between these two. Pow. Once I've done that, I undo what I did, bring this here and here, bring this up and back. So if nothing else, if you wanted another curvy copter tutorial, I guess this can serve as that, but you can see I exchanged these two. I'm just going to keep doing that. I'll say exchange these two, just to get that back into muscle memory. So I'm going to bring this down into center position here, bring it all the way around in jumbled position. I'm going to exchange it with this. I'm going to bring this here, and wheel this all the way around, and now we bring it back. Okay, so in that way, and I'm going to keep doing that. Now, you may look and see that, well, it's always symmetric. So to keep it from being too symmetric like that, I'm going to go ahead and exchange it, say, do a 2x2, this with this. That way I won't get symmetric exchanges like that the whole time. So this will move to here, this will move here, and this will move here. So now I've exchanged these two. Okay, so the solve of this is really going to be just reorienting that back. So I'm going to continue as such. I'm just showing a couple more so you can see just how smooth this is. I'm exerting zero effort in the turning of this puzzle. A couple times it snags just a little bit, but because of all the motions that happen with this puzzle, that's not too surprising. So right now it's getting an A+ in terms of movability. What I'm going to do now are mix-up moves. I'm going to start exchanging these edges with these centers over here. And that's the way that's going to work is, let's see, I'm going to move this into that same position, like so. Now I'm going to exchange, instead of something here to here, I'm going to exchange here to here. Now this, you're going to find, if I move this in, this blocks it. Now I could fudge it past it, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to move this down like so. Now I'm going to exchange it like thus, and then move it back. And I'm just going to move this back here and this here. So what I've done is I've done an even exchange of these two, and it doesn't cause any bandaging. So it's not actually jumbled like that. So let's do a couple more like that. Why don't we, now let's see, move this out of the way. We'll move this down like so. Bring this like thus. Pop this down. Make my exchange. So the memory's starting to come back in terms of how to do these curvy copters. So now I've exchanged these guys. So we're getting a pretty good number of that. Let's do a couple more because I might find myself having some difficulty with turning the puzzle a little bit. So that's pretty good. So you can see we're getting more and more messed up. We've made some mix-up moves here. I don't want to do too many more because now I'm just going to go ahead and jumble the puzzle. So jumbling means that I'm going to start restricting my motions. I'm going to start bandaging it. So I'll turn this here, turn this here, turn this over here. So the difference between a mix-up and a jumble is that there's certain motions, certain movements that I can't do after this. Now this I can do, but I have to push it past it, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to do that because in my experience, it makes the ComptoCopter Plus a very unstable kind of a puzzle. And I don't want to make this unstable because I don't want to be in a position where I have to reassemble it. Okay, so this may be as much as I dare do because like I say, I don't want to challenge things. Like even this, now notice this moves, it's rounded a lot more. So I wouldn't have been able to do this kind of a move on a ComptoCopter. ComptoCopter Plus rather, so just right off the bat, it's better, it's moving better than the mass-produced ComptoCopter Plus. Or, yeah, it's not bad. Okay, let's see how much more I can do here. Are we good? Well, let's see if we can make it even more scary. Can I get this to move? I can, but we're there. I can move it here. Okay, again, I gotta be careful because I don't want to put myself in a situation where things won't move. Okay, how about you? Do you want to move? Yeah, you do. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to say that this is a nice scrambled. I can't even do 2x2 moves at this point. Or I can, but this is bumping into it a little bit. Or is it? Well, it doesn't have to. Okay, I'm not going to push it, but so there it is. Here's a fully scrambled hybrid 2x2 curvy copter. So we're going to go through the process to see, can I solve this? Okay, so the first step is I need to get this into as unbandaged a position as possible. So I want to get all of these looking as like a square. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to rotate this here so that I'm basically turning it back into a cube. And this will go over here. Okay. Now that I've done that, I need to get it out of jumbling position, because while it's jumbled, it's going to be bandaged. So while these things are facing around like that, then they're jumbled. So when I get a situation like this, the way that I'm going to move that out, now I'm a little bit stuck here, so I'd like to move this around. But this is still blocking it. This is kind of causing trouble too. And maybe there's another, maybe I can do it from here. Okay. So if I move this like so, then I take this, move this into this position, it'll take that jumble out. Now this is still in here, but I did take a jumble out. What else is jumbled? This is in a jumble position as well. So if I were to move this up, this is kind of blocking it. Oh, that's because it's in jumbled position. I want to get this out of the way here. This is all messed up. So this looks like a very strange jumbled situation. Maybe I can move that out of the way. It's not bad. Okay, so anything that will allow me to move this won't let it move, so I'm going to bump that out of the way. Let's move this up. Let's see. Move this up like so. Okay. So I'm looking for a position kind of like this. Okay, maybe making this a little harder than I need to. Okay, I move this around to here. I'll move this around. This guy's blocking it, so let's move him out of the way. But this is blocking it. Let's move him out of the way. Now I can move him. These two are a little too close for comfort, but that's alright for now. Move this to here. This guy will come all the way up to here and move it down. Now, despite the jumbling, the movement's actually pretty good. This is what's called fudging. I have to blast it through where I think it's supposed to go. But now that I've done that, I can try to move these in the right position. Let's see, so if I were to start out here, I know that I can make it work. Let's get this out of the way. If I move this over to here, this up here, move this all the way in here, and this comes down. So this is just standard correcting the jumbling kind of a situation. Okay, so all the jumbling is gone. Now I just need to exchange these guys. Now notice something else happened. This is rotated wrong. That happens with curvy copters. So I'm going to see if I can't get rid of that as an issue. So to exchange them, I'm going to be able to exchange these two if I move him down here into center position, move him over here, and now just orchestrate my exchange. Let's get this out of the way. You can see that this is blocking it, but not critically so. Okay, that was a little hair-raising. Alright, now that I've done that, now that I've orchestrated the exchange, I need to move this guy up. Doesn't want to turn though, and that's not the fault of the puzzle. That's me maybe trying to make it make turns it doesn't want. Ah, there we go. Okay, and now this needs to turn up. Okay, now I'll tell you, I would not have been able to make those moves quite so avidly with the mass-produced curvy copter. This would have critically stood in its way. I would have been able to do it, but it would have been very difficult. Okay, so I want to get this to here because it's just easier for me to visualize what I need to do. Alright. Now if I can get this out of the way, let me move him over here, then just get him out of the way here. So I'm going to put this into this position here, corner position. I'm going to try to wheel this around. Now something appears to be blocking, and I think it's this piece that's rotated wrong. I mean, I could move it past. No, that's not bad. Okay, we got to move this down, bring this across, Now I'll move this back up. Bring this around, bring this down. Okay, I've got just these two to go. And let's see how I can do this. I'd like to move him over here. There we go. And, well, I got two that are bumping heads here. Actually, I could just do a 2x2 turn. Okay, now this is going to turn over to here. We're going to wheel this around to here. It's a very stable puzzle. Fudge this past here. Now you may say, well, are you doing illegal moves? And the answer is, I don't think so. I've had to do this with ComboCopter, which is why I stopped using it. Okay, so all of my mix-up moves are okay, but now I've got things turned the wrong way. Now, I know how to turn these around, corners, which means I want to put this in a corner position so I can turn it around. So I'm going to move it here. Now you can do this with the CurvyCopter Plus, by the way. I'm just using those techniques. Once I move this here, I'm going to move this out to here so it's in corner position. Okay, I want to get this out of the way, so I'm going to move this here, move this to here, and then I'm going to wheel it around here, which will turn this around. So I'm going to take this, put it here. I got to get it past here, which I can do. Turn. Much easier than the mass produce. So I have a much more satisfying solve of a CurvyCopter Plus. Now that I have it here, I wheel it back here, and I see that it's not lined up yet. So I put it back here, move them back up. Okay, I got to get them around here. Now this would be very difficult with a mass-produced CurvyCopter Plus. And the 2x2 turns are not lined up. There we go. So it's actually allowing me to do it a lot easier. I am doing what I call taking it around the world. No pieces have popped on me, nor does it feel like they're about to. I just have to push it past a little bit. And now this will come across here, and bang, this is lined up perfectly. I believe this was over here. Move this up, in, and now you can see this is rotated correctly. I'm going to do this with all of them. Let's get this away from here. I'm just going to do 2x2 moves. Okay, once again we'll move this down here. Move this guy out of the way. Okay, it's moving down. Alright, let's get this out of the way by moving it back. Okay, move this over to here, and now let's take it around the world. Turn. Got a little 2x2 move that was starting to happen here. This doesn't want to move. Now it does. Turn. 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 Let's see if it now lines up with this. I got this rotated around. Nope, not yet. So we simply do it again. Bring it up. Got a 2x2 turn that's locking it up. Turn it here. Turn, turn, and boom, we're perfect. This goes in here, this comes back up, and this comes up over here. Are we good? And we're good. Alright, so basically we took the jumbling out, and we took the mix-up part out. So now what we have to do is we have to line these guys up. And the way that that's going to work is whatever is here and here, these two are going to exchange. So let's see what we have that's already in. I'm going to move this here because this green will end up here. Actually, wouldn't it be better if I put this in, because then it's a twofer. So I'll do 2x2 moves. This will come, so these two are going to exchange. This will come to here. I'm going to wheel this around. Or not. Alright, so now this is in my ready position. This is going to come to here and to here. And we simply negotiate our exchange. Bring this here and back. And I bring this up and down. Okay? So that's all you're going to be doing with this. Nothing too complicated. Okay, these two. It's going to be easy just to move actually, how about this one? We can exchange these guys. My 2x2 moves make me a lot more free to get things into position. I'd be able to do it easily anyway. I just might have to do mix-up moves. Not mix-up moves, jumbling moves to get it in, and boom. So those are exchanged. We've got this one. Actually, let's do this because they're complementary to each other. Doing 2x2 moves to bring them in. So move this down. Just got to line it here. This comes down to here, here, and here. These two will now exchange. And now I go up, across. As a matter of fact, I don't think I'm going to be using my mass-produced CurvyCopter Plus anymore. If I need a CurvyCopter fix, I'm just going to use this puzzle. It works great. Moves a lot more smooth too. Alright, here's some reciprocals that I could use. These two. Let's move it into position, move it back, across, into here. And we go splat. So you actually see me working backwards with the scramble, and I'm actually glad to see that I still remember how to do a CurvyCopter. It's mostly intuitive anyway. Okay. I'm going to coordinate an exchange between this and this, I guess. Well, I'll put this white one into here. So we'll come across to here. Put this in our ready position. This will come across, across, and boom. So like I say, this is what you would call a perfect hybrid with great quality, making an incredibly fun solve experience. Okay. We've got a reciprocal over here. That makes it easy. Turn. It's always fun watching a puzzle getting more and more solved. This will come across here, here, and boom. Okay, what else we've got? Well, let's move this in the red one here. So there's no tricks, there's no parity issues, just a simple process. And this puzzle solved right now is also an evaluation of the quality of the puzzle, should you want to buy it, which right now I can only recommend. Boom. Okay, move this up here. So I can do an exchange of these guys. Solve is coming much faster now that I'm more comfortable with the movement of the puzzle. Now that the jumbling is taken out of the way. This comes here, here, and down. Okay, we should be down to the last few, and I think that we are. Now, to be honest with you, I'm a little concerned about the 2x2 solve, because it's not a classic 2x2. Anyway, I'm going to wheel this around, so we'll see how it goes. I have kind of an idea of what I'm going to do. And then after this will be, of course, the ComboCopter. So right now I'm still reducing it back to its components. Now the question is, do I reduce it to a 2x2 and solve it as such? Or do I reduce it to a CurvyCopter and solve it as such? Okay, so now we're down to the last two. This comes up here, and this should get us back to where we need to be to focus on the more unique part of the puzzle. Right now I've just been solving it exactly like a CurvyCopter Plus. Boom. Okay, looking around you can see that we've taken out all the bandaging, we've taken out all the jumbling, and we've reduced these guys. So I think what I'm going to do is reduce this to a CurvyCopter and solve it as such. But I've got to reduce these guys, and that's going to be the 2x2 aspect to it. Now in terms of the color scheme, I have to remember the red, white, and blue. So let's find that. Alright, here's red, white, and blue is going to be over here. So that means is I want to take, now what I could do is I could just put these blocks in and just solve it like that. Or I can just start putting them in bit by bit. Not sure what would be the best way to do it. So let's just get started with something. Here's the other red and white, so that's over here. This is going to be white and, well, I guess blue, because red, white, and blue. That's the color scheme. So this is going to be white and blue. White and blue. So where are you? White and blue is right over here. So I'm going to move this down, bring this here, bring it up to here, and now I can do a move, bang, to bring this to here. Now, should I just put this one in and just do block by block? I might, but let's keep doing it this way. Let's see how this works. So I'll need the other white and blue, and that's over here. So to move this up, I'm just going to do this move here, an edge move. Now I'm going to do a face move to bring it up. So I've got these guys here. Now it's going to be white and orange, which is opposite red, and that's this guy over here. So how am I going to move this to here without taking this out of the way? Well, I can move it to here. Let's see. Okay, if I move it here, I just want to rotate this guy. Rotate this guy. So the way I'm going to do that, so just bring him down here. I got to be careful. Move this here and then bring this up. Okay? So that worked. Now I need the other blue. I think I'm doing this not the best possible way, but let's see what happens. Okay, I want to move this guy up to here. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to move it in from here actually, which bump this out of the way. I'm going to take this, do an edge move like so. Yep, if I can. And now I'll move it down. Aha! So it's in. So these guys are in. And now we're going to do this one. It's the final white ones. So we've got this here. White and green. And I got to move this up to here. So this is on this block. I want to turn this block around. So I can go bang. Well, let's see. Okay. I just want to turn this around. So I'm going to do R-I, D-I, R, D, R-I, D-I, R, D. Okay, there it is there. Now that messed this up, so I'm going to move another one in here and do R-I-D, R-D twice. R-I, D-I, R-D, R-I, D-I, R-D. This is just 2x2 algorithm. R-D, R-I-D. This is just to get back everything that I took out in the bottom, which worked. This is a lot of fun, actually. Now I'm going to move this up to here. So I'm just going to move it up, double turn, or do another move here, and then move it down. Okay. Now if I get really lucky, the other green will be down here, and it's not. It's right over here. Okay. So I'm going to move it here so it's in this block, and I'm going to rotate it just the way I did last time. R-I, D-I, R-D, R-I, D-I, R-D. That's where it needs to be to get everything back on the bottom. You can see I'm messing things up. I'm going to move this here and do it twice. R-I-D-I. Uh-oh. R-D. R-I-D-I. R-D. R-I-D-I. R-D. Alright, I hope I didn't get lost. R-D. Okay. Nope, we did good. So now I just have to move this into place. So let's move this, do an edge turn here, and I'm going to do my move in, substitute, move back technique. So these are going to be lined up here. So I move it in, turn it, move it down. Okay, so we see that all of these guys are in. And now is when it's going to get more complicated. I think the best thing that I should do is probably, I guess maybe move the top ones in. Maybe not. Maybe we'll move these guys here. Okay, so there's a couple ways that we can do this, I guess. I could do the red one, red and orange will be on the top. So here's red and blue. Okay, this will be red and blue. I want red and blue over here, so I'm going to turn this like so. Boom, and simply move it in. Okay, so I can turn this here. So here's red and here's blue. The other red and blue is over here, so I'm going to do my exchange by going, well, actually I don't even have to do an exchange. I can just go like this and move it in. Okay, so in that way I've got the red and blue. Now I need the red and green. I've got a red and green up here. Let's see, here's a red and green here. I want to move that into here, so I'm going to go 1, 2 to move it in. Do an edge turn. Oh, I'm all mixed up here. Do an edge turn here if I can. And 1, 2 to bring it back. That way this isn't destroyed. The other red and green is here. Now how am I going to move this to here? Well, I think what I can do is RID this until this is down in this position, and then just move this. So RID, RD, RID, RD. One more. RID, RD, RID, RD. Okay, that's where it needs to be. Now I'm going to move this. I got to move this back. So do this once. DI, RD. 3 RID sets will bring you back to where you were before. So anyway, so now this is down. So I'm going to make a turn here. Go 1, 2 to put it in place. Turn this back and go 1, 2 to bring it back. So now these are in. Turn this back here. So the reds are in, green. Now I'm looking for the green and orange. Green and orange is over here, and the green and orange is over here. So we can do RIDs to get this down. RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. Alright, this is down, but I have to get my configuration back here, so I'm going to move this into position and do RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD, and again, RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. And these guys will move back, so I haven't taken these out. So my green and orange is here. Move it in, double turn, move it back. Okay, so this is all just based on intuitive positioning. Now this guy has to get to here. Let's see how I'm going to do that. Well, maybe I can go like this. Move it in, double turn, move it back, and I'll move this up. Okay, that was easier than I thought, so that's good. But now we've got orange and blue, and I've got an orange and blue here. And the other orange and blue is right here. So I got to move this to here, and let's see how I'm going to do that. Okay, now like I say, I'm sure there's more efficient ways of doing this, but I figure this isn't so much a tutorial, this is just can I make my way through this kind of a thing. But I'm looking to see how to get this over here without... Now I can do something similar. Let's get this out of the way, and let's move this to here. The only problem is that this is going to participate in the exchange, and I don't want it to do that. So. This will participate in the exchange, and I do want it to do that. So what if I just move this down like this? Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Well, no. This needs to be over here. So what if I went like this? Now, because this is going to exchange, so I have to make sure that I keep this here. What it comes down to is I need this guy to be over here. So I need to RID, RD some things. RI, DI, RD, RI, DI, RD. Okay. I could do this here and just RID, RD things back. So I'm going to substitute this for this. So we're going to move this in like so. Double turn and move it back. Now, without any further ado, we do RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D, and again, RI, DI, R, D, RI, DI, R, D. And by golly, it worked! So these guys are all in, and now we've got the dreaded last layer. Let's see how we can do this. Well, I guess because these are all in, I'm going to look at these as just pure corners. I don't have to look at these. So I'm just going to do cuboid strategies, I guess, by doing corner swaps. So if I move this here, I've got this side and this side. A corner swap will line these two together. This will end up here. Now let's see. This whole thing will end up here. I'm going to move it like this because this will end up here. Sorry, I lost track for just a second. Let's try it again. To our U, to our UI, to our turn, to our UI, to our U, to our. Okay, so this is in and this is in, but these two are not. These two are not. So that didn't quite work out the way that I wanted it to. And these got a little messed up, but that's easy to put back in, I think. This needs to go here. So move this here. 1, 2. Turn. 1, 2. Puts that back in. And now I just have to bring these guys back. So, take it out. Blue and red. Turn, turn, bang, splat. So that's not a problem. But how do I get rid of this, quote, parity type situation? This will be up here, this will be up here. I just need to get these two together. But if I get these two together, these two will be messed up. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go like this and get them out of sorts. To our U, to our UI, to R. Turn over here, to our UI, to our U, to R. Okay. And move this back. Now that kept this here. I kind of predicted that. These are all messed up. So if I move this to here, this will come to here. And now these guys should match up. Let's see what happens. To our U, to our UI, to R. Turn the puzzle. To our UI, to our U, and to R. And aha! These are all now lined up. These got messed up, but we're not going to worry about that, and I'll tell you why. These are in, but you can see these are not coordinated with it. So these are all fine, but this isn't coordinated. This has to be where the green one is, so what I'm going to do is just put it there. Boom. So now it's in. Now I've got to get these guys back, and this is red, green and red, so I'm going to move this like so. Move it in, do an edge turn, move it back. See? No messy cleanup. That's all fine there. This is going to be green and orange, which is this one here. So let's move this, move it in, turn, move it back. So now that's in. This is the final orange, which is here. it in, turn, move it back, and bang, and whoops, done. Okay. Well, that was a lot of fun. Basically what that did is I now solved my 2x2, but it's basically a hybrid 2x2. Oh, wait, I'm not done. This isn't quite right. These two have to exchange. So that's fine. I'm going to move this in. Double turn. Move it back. And now this will come in. Double turn, move back. Okay, so now it'll work. So that was the true hybrid. That was the true edge turner 2x2 hybrid. All of the rest that happened before that was a ComptoCopter plus reduction. That was all that was. The actual hybrid portion of the solve is what you just saw. That was a combination of a 2x2 and a ComptoCopter, 2x2 and a helicopter. So you just saw the 2x2 helicopter hybrid version of the solve. But what I've done now is I've just reduced it to a helicopter cube. And now I just solve it accordingly. So what then is a ComptoCopter solve, or actually just a helicopter solve? Well, so we'll start off with green, and let's see how quick I can go through that. Where are you, green? Here it is. So the first thing I do is I move these guys in. So move this down, rotate the center in, bring this up, bring this in. This guy's going to go over to here, so get it out of the way. Move this guy down, move him up, and this guy goes in. So ComptoCopter solves are nice, fairly simple. This is in this orbit, which is in this orbit, so bring it down, bring this guy up, bring him up. So far everything is in the right orbit, which makes it super duper easy, and this comes in here. Okay, next step is to put in the corners. Here's a corner that belongs with the orange and the yellow. You can see that if I move it up, it doesn't work, so I take it around the bottom. Bang, zoom, splash. You saw me do this when I was putting the centers in. Okay, gonna correlate it, gonna move this down so that when I move this in, you can see the colors correlate. Bring it up so this corner is in. The next is the red one, red and white. So I move this down so that it can accept the right corner, but you can see the colors don't match. So I go around the world here, turn, 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 turn. Not yet. So a remarkably stable puzzle. Some of the catching that you're seeing is because of doing an accidental 2x2 move. Easily fixed, so that brings that into here. Let's find another. Here's another one. This goes by orange, orange and white, so this belongs here. This is already turned around, as you can see. So we're going to move this all around until we get it to the right place. Turn and turn. You can see this matches, so we bring this up and we're good. Oh, one more corner to go. This is already turned, not where it needs to be. So let's move it around and around. Boy, this puzzle loves to move a lot. Now, despite the frequent movements in this puzzle, nothing's popping. This is an unpoppable puzzle. Got to take it around again. And turn and up. Okay, so we've got the first side to move these in. Look to see what's in the same orbit. This is in the right orbit. Keep it at the bottom. We move this down, get this corner out of the way. Now we move this in, bring this corner back, and move it up. Pops it in here. This next one, look for the red. It's here. It's already on the bottom. Bring it down, corner out of the way without jumbling it. This moves in, this moves up, and this moves across. Okay, find another one. Oh, this guy here. So move it at the bottom, bring it down, corner out of the way, move it in. So this is actually a fairly easy helicopter solve. I don't have any jumbled moves here. Move it down, corner out of the way, white one in. Yeah, everything's in the proper orbit, so I just got lucky, so to speak. Okay, oh, we have this one. And this is in the right orbit. Did I not scramble this enough? Did I accidentally make this much too easy for me? I think I probably did. Anyhow, it wouldn't be much of a problem, and I do have a tutorial, 2x2. Okay, now that I've done that, I've got that layer done. I move these in. This red one is here. I've got to move the one here, and that's going to be, well, it's in the same orbit. So I don't want it to be the same orbit, which means I'm going to want to move this to this side over here. To do that, I have to pop it into this orbit, so I'm going to move it to the side here, go up, up, turn it, down, down, and then wheel it in. So you can see it's in the right orbit, and I bring it down. That's the first one that I didn't have in the right orbit. Okay, so actually this is in the wrong orbit. This has to come over here. So I'm going to move this down, get this out of the way. This goes up, down, single jumble maneuver, and turn. Okay, so this is in the correct orbit. Let's move this down, bump this out of the way, turn it, move this in, move it down. Now notice this is upside down, but don't worry about that yet. I need the other orange, and that's going to be, well, here. I want to move this guy to here. So first I'm going to move him to here. So a single jumble maneuver will swap orbits, and that's what I want to do. Okay, now the next step is I want to move him to here. So this will come across. Now, by the way, when I swing these two, they're not going to switch orbits, so I don't worry about where that red one's going. It's still going to be in the same orbit. The only ones that change are on these side. Okay, so I'm just going to take this red one, move it back, move him down. Here's the yellow, once again. Move the yellow one in, move them down, and that should put my oranges where they need to be, which they are, and I move them down. White ones are where they need to be, so I move that down. Okay, so now I want to put the corners in. This corner is good. So what's the other one that goes to the white? This is here, but it's rotated incorrectly. This one goes here, and this one goes here, but they're both rotated incorrectly. So although I want to move this here, if I move it in from this standpoint, it's not going to move in the right place. So if I turn it around here, and here, and then move it in from this perspective, it still won't be in the right place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it in like this. Turn this here, and here. I'm going to do a double jumble maneuver, which won't switch any orbits. It'll just swap these two and turn this upside down. That's why I use this one to be the one in the center, because it'll turn that right side up this time. So, single jumble here, down and up. Then I do the double jumble portion here. This goes up and down. Then we turn them. And this turns around, which won't switch any of these guys. This will turn back. And this will turn back. Okay, so this is in and this is in. We just have these two that are wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate them here, and we're going to put them out from where they're supposed to be, which will rotate this one up. So I'm going to go up from this perspective, down from this perspective, rotate it like so, bring it down. I'm going to go up from this perspective and down from this perspective. That's my double jumble maneuver. And I'm trying to move this down, and it's all snaggy and stuff. And now this turns like so. Okay, I'm going to now move this back. Okay, move this back, and move this over here, and this will move back over here. Okay, so there's a little bit of a dilemma here, and I'm seeing something of a parody that I don't think I've seen with the curvy copter. But basically, these two can be flipped. This will be flipped here, and this will be flipped here, and it'll be fine. We're going to see something a little bizarre that we've not seen before, and this may emerge out of a parody of this puzzle. But if I go like this, and move this down and up, do my double jumble maneuver, and go like this, then it would appear to be solved, but this is out. This is wrong. So this is a parody. I don't think I've seen this in the ComptoCopter Plus. So very strange. Maybe I have and maybe I just don't remember. So how do I get out of this? Well, I can't swap these without swapping 2 corners. But all of these corners are in. So what do? Well, I suspect that I need to put something else in a corner position and swap those 2. And since these have equivalencies, I have the fallacy of false equivocation, which means 2 of these need to be swapped. If I swap 2 of these, it will rotate this. So that's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to here and in many ways reset things. These 2 will swap and it'll self-correct this. So I'm going to bring this down like so, bring this down like this, bring this up and across, and now I'm going to do a swap for swap and go like kersplat. Okay, now that I have done that, this will come up like this, and by swapping those 2, one of these guys also got rotated, which is what I wanted. Kind of reset things. Now let's see if I can get this to turn. Gotta make sure all my 2x2 turns. This goes here, and this goes here. Well, this goes here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring things back to here. And now you can see things are a little offset, but that's okay. I'll get these back in. Okay, now you can see that these 2 are both in. If I move this to here, this will be in, but it will be in upside down. So I don't want to move it in from that standpoint. If I move this here, this will be in, and it'll be right side up. So that's good. So very strange that that should happen. Oh, you know what? Okay. Yeah, this will come here. So I'm going to move this into here. Oh, yeah. Alright. So I want to use this one. If I move this here, this will come here. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Maybe I can do it another way. Okay, well, I don't want to make it too complicated, so let's go ahead and double jumble this back. I mean, I know from Faith that the puzzle has been reset, parity has been taken out. And this will turn upside down. Okay, I'll turn this back here. Okay, so I'm going to move them closer to each other. They're where they need to be, but they're rotated wrong. So I'm going to move this up, this down, double turn like so. Move this up, this down, double turn, bang, zoom, and splat. Okay, what I'm going to do is I need to get these to crisscross. I need to, but I need this to be the place that that's done. So I'm going to move this to here, to here, and to here. Okay, I'm just going to move this to here as well. I got to remember to move this back, and we'll go ahead and do our double jumble maneuver. Turn, turn. This goes up, this goes down, turn, turn, and this will come across like this. I'm doing a lot of 2x2 moves accidentally. Yes, no? Boom, okay. Now I have to remember that this turned over here, and I believe this went to here. Turn, turn, and lo and behold, boom, and it's done. So there you have it. The first scramble and solve, so far as I could see, of the hybrid 2x2 ComptoCopter Plus puzzle. The movement of the puzzle is excellent. This really needs to be mass produced. The structure of this, the design of this is flawless. It's a very, very stable puzzle. The whole key happened with the hybrid portion of the solve when I was solving these guys, which was a fun little challenge. Something that could be done more intuitively. The only algorithms that I used was rotational algorithms of RIDIRD that I would, with any corner rotating portion of a puzzle, but otherwise highly recommend it, and took the notion of a 2x2 solve and a ComptoCopter Plus solve and brought it to completely different directions. So I say thanks for your time, thanks for watching, and time to check out the ocean.